Bermagui used to be a busy fishing harbour, with 30 trawlers using the jetties and co-op. The commercial fishery is gone, and now the harbour has a marina catering for recreational vessels with restaurants and cafes close by. Well, we don't wear skimpy bikinis. Hell, it frightens me when I take my shirt off. There's definitely no one pregnant here. This is motor sailing for old dudes. We do live on a boat, and we do cruise extensively along the Australian coast. Join us and visit some great destinations. Learn how to look after a boat and live off grid. It might even get you enthused to do the same thing. Hey, stay out there till you can't. Well, we're in Bermagui and glad to be here with this wind. There's plenty of it and it's good to be tied up in the marina. The shops are a pretty close walk away, and there's a good woolies here so you can resupply. There's plenty of cafes and good meals at the pub, they reckon, and not a bad beach if you want to have a swim in the cold weather. But yeah, we'll be here for another week, I think, just trying to get the weather right for going around the bottom. But I guess the thing you've got to weigh up, it's a lot more comfortable being here. The marina is relatively cheaply priced compared to a lot of them on the coast, so it's pretty easy being in here, and I think it's a lot more comfortable being here in Bermagui than it is being in Twofold Bay, because there's nothing really at Twofold Bay. If you want to do any shopping, you've got to go all the way up the hill. It's quite a big climb from the anchorage up to where the shops are. So not a great spot to resupply. A lot easier here in Bermagui. So we're looking at this as being really a blast off point for a trip around the bottom, but we're just waiting to get the weather right before we attempt that. Well, interesting, on the way to Bermagui, we were rocking along nicely, doing our 6.5, 7 knots, and all of a sudden the starboard motor just shut down completely, stone dead. So I thought, geez, what's that? Threw it out of gear, restarted it, started fine, and it's run all the way to Bermagui. And I've been worried because it shouldn't do that. And the thing I suspected was the fuel solenoid that pulls the rack in for fuel, to give the motor fuel. I had a bit of a look at it on the go, but you get down there with the engine running, you can't do it properly. So we got into Bermagui, got tied up, and I just gone down and found there's a bad connection on the fuel solenoid. So I'm going to go down and fix it. I'll show you what I do. Might be handy for you guys. It may happen to you if your diesel engine stops very quickly. It could be just this problem. So come and have a look. This wire has got the insulation got very stiff from being old, and the wires are a bit crazy. So I'm going to replace both of those terminals, shorten them up a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to put a bit of shrink wrap right over there. I'll bare those wires, they're all getting old and stiff. Unfortunately on this boat, when I did all the wiring on the boat, I wired everything with tin copper wire. The only thing on the boat that is not tin copper wire is these engine controls. Okay, can go in there. Yep, just turn it on. Yep, stop. Off. On again. Off. Okay. Job's done. Wombi having a little dip in the blue pool. Be blue when she gets out, I reckon. Okay, it's the wind's gone around to the north now, very light, about 7 knots from the northwest, so we're going to use that. We've been in Bermagui for a bit too long, so we're going to just put some water on and then we're going to drop the lines and head down to Eden. Looking alright for Saturday for heading around the corner, so that's what we've been waiting a couple of weeks for. Got the sail out, but the wind's very light and really not even enough to fill it. So I've got to make the decision whether I wait for it or furl it up. Well, we left around about 7:30 this morning, and haven't had much wind. The wind's got up a little bit. We've got some sail out. It's not really doing much for us. We're only doing about 5.3 knots at the moment, so it's going to be a longer trip for us, but we'll be down Eden around about 3 o'clock this afternoon. We've been waiting for this weather for nearly 2 weeks, and we've been in Bermagui. It's been comfortable there. We had a great time at Bermagui, met a lot of new friends, and all of us now are heading down to Eden. I think there's about 5 or 6 boats on the way down there at the moment. So we're all going to Eden, and the weather's looking pretty good on Friday and Saturday for getting around to lakes. So we've got a bit of a window. I think we'll probably be leaving, with the forecast at the moment, we'll be leaving at about 10 or 11 o'clock on Friday night, and that'll put us at Lakes Entrance at about the same time on Saturday night. So that's the plan. So we'll get down probably to the woodship berth at Eden, and we'll spend a couple of days there just waiting for this northerly to come back and get us down around the corner. Well, the wind's dropped right out now, so we've just furled the sail up. We've got about an hour and 20 minutes. We must be picking up a little bit of current here too, because we're doing about 5.5, which is nearly as good as we've done all day. So we're going to head twofold at about 1500, which was our ETA, and we'll just head across to the woodship beach and anchor off that, and that's where we'll probably wait until we leave again on Friday night. It's been a pretty good trip, but it would have been a bit better with a little bit more breeze. Would have helped us along a bit, but anyway, take what you get. we've been evicted from this anchorage. They've just brought a Navy ship in and they're putting ordnance on apparently, so we've been asked to move for 4 or 5 hours, so we're out of here. Well, how good is this? The silence is deafening. Yeah. Beautiful in here. Orcas have hunted baleen wildcalves along Australia's southern coastline for centuries. However, here in Twofold Bay, the orcas ingeniously use the bay's shallow waters to trap and eventually kill juvenile whales. Local Aboriginal people of the Yuin Nation observed this behaviour of the orcas and over time developed ways to benefit from it. They would encourage the orcas to beach the baleen whales and then spear them once stranded. Working with the local Aboriginal people and speaking their language, George Davison also learned how to gain assistance from the orca pod. He and his crew were now able to catch adult whales, becoming the only place in Australia where this unique partnership existed. Although the Davison family can be attributed with running the whaling station for more than 60 years, the tri-works dates back to the 1840s when a Hawaiian man, Otahiti Bill, first set up the tripods here in Kaya Inlet. Individual orcas were named by Aboriginal whalers in honour of deceased fellow crew members who were believed to communicate through the spirit of the orcas. Each was identified by colour, behaviour and shape of their dorsal fin. There was Hookie, Taipei, Humpy, Old Tom, Jackson and Cooper. If you want to have a look at Old Tom, his skeleton is hanging in the Whale Museum at Eden. So it's a lot calmer place than it probably would have been back in the day, but still the old tri-works were here in Kaya Inlet. What do you think about this place, Womb?
It's very nice. I like it here. Yeah. A bit cold to swim though.
You tried?
Yeah, I did try. You can need a wetsuit.
Okay, so this is tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock and you can see that the wind is gone round to the north at about 10 knots, so that'll be ideal for us. So we're going to leave from Eden and we'll have a nice little run down around Green Cape, down the bottom here to Gabo Island. So that'll be our destination for tomorrow. And then after that, from Gabo Island to Lakes Entrance, that's the big leg. But you can see that on Sunday morning at 6 o'clock, the wind's still out of the north. So we'll leave from here, we'll get a good lift off it there. It does tend to lighten out once we get to here. So you're looking at 6 knots, which won't give us a lot, but it is on a beam reach. So we should get a bit out of that. And that'll hold on all day. We probably won't get there till probably about 1800, 2000 that night, Sunday night. And you can see the wind fills in a little bit even in the afternoon. And when we get over to Lakes Entrance, we should have the wind still from behind us. So we've really waited for a couple of weeks to get the conditions like this, and you know, that's the way we're going to do it. some friendly dolphins meet us and lead us across the paddock and into Bass Strait. We discover Point Hicks and explore a pristine beach and swim in the cold water. We have drinks, watching a fantastic sundown, and leave early the next morning to travel to Lake's Entrance, where we cross the bar into the Gippsland Lakes. Hope you've enjoyed this episode. See you next week.